Welcome. Today is key number 5. The Hierophant. The Sage. The one who helps give different perspectives of who and what is going on. But this is the Hierophant. Can you see it? Hierophant. Key number 5. The Ba. V-A-B. V-U-W value 6 means nail or hook. Something to join the parts of a building together, therefore associative. Like gummel. Also something to support hanging objects, therefore something on which other things depend. A nail is a fastening, a link, a means of union, a means of support. It is linked in thought and language with such ideas as aid, assistance, sustenance, furtherance, and ministry. It will be seen presently that these ideas are not only directly connected with the occult meaning of Ba, but also with the symbolism of the Hierophant. In the Hebrew, letter Va is the equivalent of English and is Ba. Thus, the grammatical use of the letter is derived directly from its literal meaning. There we go. The conjunction "and" links together a series of nouns describing various objects as apples and pears and lemons. It also induces dependent clause in a sentence. In Hebrew, the letter Ba is used in precisely the same way. Thus, like a nail, it binds the parts of a sentence together, and clauses or phrases introduced by it hung from it, like pictures supported by hooks driven into a wall. Now, the central thought here is union, and this is the exact English translation of the Sanskrit noun yoga, the same Sanskrit noun in the root of our word yoke. And some authorities are of the opinion that the original hieroglyphic symbols for Va was a picture of a yoke such as used for harnessing oxen. Yoga is a system of practice whereby personal consciousness is linked to the universal conscious energy. Its object is direct, first-hand experience of those phases of reality which are all the basis of religions. The founders of religions are persons who have such experiences, and the contention of practical occultists is that this kind of experience may be repeated whenever the right conditions are provoked or provided. It is not a conspicuous gift from on high. It is not miraculous. Rare it may be, but it is perfectly natural. And the human being who addresses himself earnestly to preparing himself for this kind of experience will find what he seeks. We shall find presently that the Hierophant in the Tarot is a symbol of the mode of conscious activity which takes form in such experiences. Hearing, which unites man to man by speech and man to God by the word of the inner voice, is the sense attributed to Ba. Jesus set off, and he hath ears to hear, let him hear. This is the technical formula of ageless wisdom. It refers to the development of the interior sense of hearing just mentioned. In Sanskrit, the noun S-R-U-T-I, literally hearing, is the term for revelation. It alone can remove that nescience which is innate in human nature, says one ancient book. Similarly, the prophets of Israel declared again and again, "Thus said the Lord," as if they were reporting things heard. Two of them, Samuel and Elijah, were directly aware of the divine presence as a voice. What was true then is true now. Knowledge of the higher aspects of reality come to us through soundless sound of an inner voice, which often speaks as plainly as any voice heard with the physical ear. The reason is that the hearing centers in the brain are stimulated by higher rates of vibration, which serve as a means of communication between ourselves and more advanced thinkers. Many persons have flashes of this experience, and our recognition that it is so is expressed by the oft-repeated statement, "Something seemed to say to me." Triumphant and internal intelligence is the name of the mode of consciousness corresponding to Va. It is triumphant because it gives assurance of the ultimate victory of the life power over all the apparent obstacles now seeming to stand in the way of the completion of the great work. It is eternal because it not only carries with it a positive conviction of immortality, lifting personal consciousness out of the limitations of time into the realization of the freedom of eternity, but also because the revelations of the inner voice enable us to solve particular problems by applying principles which, as soon as we perceive them, we recognize as being true, yesterday, today, and forever. Taurus the bull, a fixed earth sign, is attributed to Va. It is ruled by the planet Venus, key 3, the Empress, and is the sign of the exaltation of the moon, key 2, the High Priestess. The name of the sign itself shows a secret correspondence with the higher spiritual things, with super consciousness, inasmuch as the bull is the letter corresponding to R-U-A-C-H, of the life breath, pictured in the tarot by the Fool. The voice of the Hierophant gives verbal form of the vision to the Fool. Revelation key 5 is the communication of the transcendent knowledge of the superconsciousness, and so as far that knowledge can be put into words. Astrologically, too, the sign Taurus is representative of latent powers and energies, of secretiveness and reserve. Ideas clearly suggested by the title and symbolism of the Hierophant. Furthermore, Taurus rules the neck, which is the link between the head and the body, and in the neck is located the psychic center dominated by the Venus vibration. The exaltation of the moon in Taurus indicates that the powers of subconsciousness, especially the powers of memory and recollection, have their highest manifestation in the mental activities pictured by this key 5. In the color scale, Taurus is red-orange. Its musical tone is C sharp or D flat. Southeast, the direction attributed to Va, is represented by the cube space, by the vertical line connecting the lower southeast corner with the upper southeast corner. This edge of the cube is also the line along which the southern and eastern faces of the cube are conjoined. In tarot, south is related to key 19, the sun, and the east is related to key 3, the Empress. Here is suggested a blending of solar and Venusian qualities. Venusian qualities. The sun is a great center of what Hindus call prana. The the Venus vibration is that which manifests in mental imagery. Occultly, the blending of these two vibrations is the mingling of the universal conscious energy with the imaginative, generative powers of the subconsciousness. In the activity symbolized by the Hierophant, these two phases of life power are combined. Hierophant means revealer of sacred things. It was the name of the chief officer in the Eleusinian mystery. Eleusinian mysteries, and signifies that which makes known the hidden important of the appearance whereby we are surrounded. In many versions of the tarot, this key is named the Pope, but Dr. Waite rightly says this is particular application of the more general office that he symbolizes. It should be it symbolizes. On the other hand, Pope really means Father. And when we consider the revelation of Key 5 to the Kabbalistic Tree of Life, we notice that the path of Va is the one which begins in wisdom, the second Serapha, and descends to mercy, the fourth Serapha. Thus, since the Seraph of Wisdom is also known as the AB, the Father, it becomes evidence that the Hierophant is an expression of that Seraph outflowing energy. It is not altogether misnamed when it is called the Pope. We do not agree with Dr. Waite and the Hierophant is the ruling power of external religion, esoteric orthodox doctrine, the outer side of life which leads to the doctrine. On the contrary, he is the personifier, the bridge maker, who provides a connection link between the outer experiences and the inner illumination. He sits on the throne between two stone pillars. These and the throne together with the background are gray, a color associated with wisdom, because gray is the tint resulting from an equal mixture of any two complementary colors. Since color complements are also opposites, gray stands for the perfect balance of all pairs of opposites, and thus is the practical aspect of wisdom, the second Serapha. Thus, the gray background, a key number 5, affords a very definite clue to the position of this key on the Tree of Life, since in colored representations of the tree, the second Serapha is painted gray. The design on the capital pillars is a phallic symbol of union. The pillars themselves repeat the motif of duality and suggest the laws of association represented by the pillars of the High Priestess. The throne is also of stone, and the word stone has a very special meaning in the Bible and in the Kabbalah. In Hebrew, stone is ABN, have been, EHBEN. The first two letters of this word, Ep and Beth, are the letters of the noun AB, meaning father. And this is one of the Kabbalistic names for the second Serapha. The last two letters, Beth and Nun, spell the word Ben, meaning son. And this is the Kabbalistic name for the sixth Serapha, beauty, which, as you can see from the diagram, I'll have to find it, is the central point and, so to say, privet of the diagram. Thus, in the word ABN, EHBEN, as Kabbalists say, the name of the Father and the Son of wisdom and beauty are conjoined. And this is the main reason for the many symbolic uses of the word stone throughout the scriptures. At the back of the throne on either side of the Hierophant's head are two horned circles representing the sign Taurus. The same Taurus symbol is shown also on the throne behind the Hierophant in the Rider Pack, but it is drawn in such a way that few persons unacquainted with the occult meaning of Va would likely to notice it. These particular concealments may have been due to the fact that Dr. Waite seems to have been somewhat concerned lest he should expose the deeper occult significance of the tarot to anybody but initiated students. The crown is a rippled tiara, like the Pope's crown. It is of gold, symbolizing radiance, energy, and wisdom. Its ornament with the 3 rows of the trefoils, top row 3, middle row 5, bottom row 7. In the rider pack, the middle row has 7 and the bottom is 5. But the total number is 15, the number of value of the Hebrew divine name IH, which is Jah, J-A-H. This name is that associated by the Kabbalists with the second serapha, and affords another clue to the attributing to the key number 5, to the path joining the second serapha to the 4th. Since any trefoil represents the number 3, 15 of them stand for 3 times 15 or 45, number of the name Adam. Here is a reference to the Kabbalistic doctrine that man or Adam is a God image of himself. That the primary thought of the mind of God, prior to all manifestation, must be God's awareness of his own nature and powers, and this awareness is true image of God, designated by the name Adam. The 3 trefoils in the upper row designate the 3 natures of the life power. The 5 is the second row, representing 5 modes of manifestation, and the quintessence of the 4 elements, or the 5 tattvas of Hindu philosophy, which are the subtle principles of sensation. The 7 in the bottom row corresponds to the 7 spirits of God, to the 7 sacred planets, to the 7 alchemical metals, and to the 7 chakras, or interior stars, of the yoga schools. Here we have also the 3 principles of the alchemists, their 5 modes of manifestation of the one thing, and their 7 so-called metals. In the rider pack, the tiara is surmounted by a black W, indicating the correspondence of key 5 to the letter Ba. In the BOTA, builders of the Advaita version, the ornament at the top of the crown is a small sphere, symbolizing the archetypal world. Below it, the 3 rows of the trefoils in descending order, symbolizing the creative, formulative, and material world. The outer robe of the Hierophant is red-orange. The color corresponds to Taurus, and for timing, corresponding to the sign Scorpio. It has a trimming border of blue-green, complementary to the red-orange and corresponding to the sign Scorpio. The sign opposite and complementary to Taurus. At the neck, this outer garment is caught with a clasp at the form of a silver crescent. This is the symbol for the moon, which is exalted in Taurus. Its position at the Hierophant's throat is a reminder that Taurus rules that part of the body. Under this red robe, the Hierophant wears a garment of blue, like that of the High Priestess, and having the same meaning. Under this white garment, like that of the Fool, and having some same significance. The crosses on the Hierophant's white shoes refer to the union of the male and female, positive and negative forces, and to the order, which is the 4 cross, which results from that union. Similar crosses are shown on the backs of his hands, on the carpet under his feet, and on the handles of the cross keys. These 10 crosses represent the symbolism of the 10 circular ornaments on the outer garment of the Fool. Hanging from the crown behind the ears of the Hierophant is an ornament of the form of a yoke. This refers to the primitive meaning to the letter Va. It falls behind the Hierophant's ears to call attention to those organs of hearing. In his left hand, the Hierophant holds a golden staff. It symbolizes the dominion of the life power through the phases of nature and the planes of nature, represented by the knob at the top, with the 3 crossbars below it. The latter corresponds in meaning to the 3 rolls of trefoil on the tiara, and the knob at the top of the staff corresponds to the circular ornament at the top of the crown. The scepter, golden, to show that the power exerted is the Hierophant's dominion, is the power of the universal radiant energy. The cross keys at the Hierophant's feet are familiar symbols of the power of the papacy, yet they have deeper meaning. One is silver, the other golden. They stand for the solar and lunar currents of radiant energy, which is nerve currents in the human body, which utilizes the keys to open the inner door to the higher modes of awareness. Hi, honey. Yeah, please just don't get ugly with me. Be nice, bee. Be nice. Well, you're a wasp, actually. You want to come say hi? You want to come up and say hi? Where am I? Okay. They stand for solar and lunar currents of radiant energy, as nerve currents in the human body are utilized as keys to open the inner doors leading to the higher modes of awareness. The golden key is the key of heaven, wherein the sun is ruler. The silver key is associated with hell because of the correspondence between the moon and Hecate, whom the groups worshipped as a deity of the underworld. Thus, the silver key relates to the powers of the subconsciousness, and the golden key represents the powers of the super subconsciousness. The square dais suggests the number 4, symbol of order and measurement, as if to suggest, however far beyond our present experiences the higher consciousness may go. It rests on solid bases of fact and reason. The dais is covered with a red-orange carpet corresponding by this color to the Taurus. The 4 circles on it enclose crosses, the Venus symbol folded in upon itself. They represent the manifestation of IHVH in the 4 worlds. Black and white checkerwork at the edges of the carpet remind us of the Masonic mosaic pavement, which represents the alternation of light and darkness and the manifestation of life power. The priest kneeling before the Hierophant wears robes which repeat the motifs of the flowers of the magician's garden. Their robes are ornamented with yellow palisms, symbols of the yoke or union. These are yellow because the yoke is that of Mercury, or intellectual perception. The priest who wears the lilies personifies thought. The adder represents desire. The attitude of attentive listening refers to hearing. And the number of this key, as you have learned, is that law of adaptation of religion and of man. Psychologically, the Hierophant represents intuition, which follows reasoning and adds to it. Intuition is subconscious response to reason, whereby through laws of association at work below the conscious level, thought relations which go beyond the results obtained by reason are obtained. Usually these are perceived by interior hearing. Intuition, it should be noted, means literally inner intuition. Okay, that's number 5. And that's me, Taurus. These things are really powerful. I think everybody, I hope, is, anybody ever, if they're following these, to use them in good knowledge and understanding and, truth of what things are. Our words in that adaptations right now are also in a way of illusion. So once we get through and understand what some of these words mean and how the corporations and everybody else is trying to use them to gain their inner power, then you're one up above them. And I'll See you again soon. Peace, joy, love. Bye.